we prepare to go to market with our clients, there's usually 6 major steps that we take them through. The first is screening buyers and making sure they're legit, financed, and capable to buy the business. Once we screen those folks, get an NDA signed, we take them into what we call a chemistry call meeting. That's a meeting between buyer and seller to make sure there's a good fit, that the buyer's competent, that the seller trusts that the business is going to be in good hands, and the business is going to make money and be able to pay off the loan in the transition. So once we have that buyer identified, or many buyers identified with chemistry call meetings, we make a call for an LOI. And that's the third step. In the LOI process, we're trying to get as many offers as possible, negotiate those LOIs to make sure they have great terms and deal structure to the advantage of the seller. And we have a baseline of, once it's signed, going into the purchase and sale agreement where, the price point, the terms, how it will be financed, how it will be transitioned, the timeline for due diligence, the timeline to get funded, fully funded, and timeline to get the deal closed. Once the LOI is signed, we moved into due diligence, and that's an opportunity for a buyer to look under the hood. So they want to see the past track record of usually the 3 to 5 years of financials, be able to learn more about how the business operates, any vendor or contract agreements, any legal disputes, liabilities, lawsuits that have occurred, and basically fact check that what they're buying is exactly what was in the confidential business review and the chemistry call meetings and the screening calls that we did in the previous steps. That process usually takes, somewhere between 30 to 60 days. We try to make it as fast and easy as possible, doing a lot of the legwork for the seller to compile a data room for the buyer to look through all that information. While the due diligence is going on, there's a 5th step going on, and that's to get the buyer financed. That is typically the most difficult step because it's reliant upon other people and another third-party organization at a bank. If you're paying all cash and it's private equity, it's easy. But if there's loans involved and banks involved and underwriting, it can take typically 60 to 90 days, usually more than 90 days. And that's a process that really needs to be micromanaged from the buyer. And as a business broker, a huge value of us is we're helping the buyer through that process as well. If you haven't done it before, it's a real learning curve of learning the bureaucracy of getting the loan done. And then step 6, that's deal negotiation, getting the purchase and sale agreement completed, attorneys on each side. A lot of steps within that, but it's pretty straightforward for smaller businesses. So, if you need help or you want to learn more about the whole process end to end to sell a business or buy a business, you can contact us at info@exitequity.com.